in your experience, what prevents people from having more access to solar cooking?
Yeah, that's a great question. We are definitely working in terms of, like I said, trying to raise awareness on all levels. So, like the individual, the organizational, the community, the country, and the global level. Um, I think with an increasing awareness in terms of how urgent climate issues are, I think,
Mhm.
you know, that recognition of the importance of these issues is creating more drive towards implementing solutions like solar cooking around the world, which I think is really beneficial. I think there's also an increasing awareness in terms of women's health and how household air pollution is related to that, because it's often been known as the silent killer.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, I think women's and children's lives sometimes aren't valued as much. And so, if you look though that there's increasing awareness of this and more work being done to tie these things together and how taking care of people and investing in them can really have benefits on so many levels. I think providing information about solutions like solar cooking can really address so many challenges that our world is working to address. Also with the recent pandemic, if you look at a solution like solar cooking, you're decreasing respiratory strain. So if you're not breathing in smoke equivalent to 400 cigarettes an hour,
Yeah.
you're not going to be as at risk for a respiratory
Right.
disease. If you don't have to go to a market to buy fuel, or if you don't have to go out and gather fuel, you're not going to be encountering those risks from having to interact with people, or those additional health risks as often, because sunlight is delivered to your doorstep every day. If you can pasteurize your water using a solar cooker, then you're not facing comorbidity from waterborne diseases as well as airborne and respiratory diseases. And it also really creates a lot of self-sufficiency in terms of an individual household level, but also a country level, because we've seen supply chains incredibly impacted with the pandemic. And so if you're talking about families who, for example, might be importing LPG, liquid petroleum gas, going to a market or even a country might have a short supply in terms of that, or transportation might be impacted by the pandemic. But when people have solar cookers before things like a global health crisis or a natural disaster like an earthquake strikes, hey, you can start using that and then you're more resilient and you're more prepared to be able to deal with that.
Sure.